What if the sun disappeared in the middle of the afternoon? Not because of a storm, not because of some disaster, but because the moon suddenly lined up almost perfectly between Earth and the sun. That extraordinary scene is happening today, August 12th, as a rare total solar eclipse sweeps across parts of Europe, turning an ordinary summer day into something that can look almost otherworldly. The path of totality is cutting across Greenland, Iceland, northern Russia, the Atlantic, Spain, and a tiny corner of Portugal. But for millions of people, Spain is the big story. This is the first total solar eclipse visible from mainland Spain since 1905, meaning more than a century has passed since people there last watched the moon completely cover the sun. And here's what makes this eclipse especially dramatic. Spain is near the end of the eclipse's path, so totality happens very close to sunset. The moon's shadow will move across the country from west to east, reaching areas including Galicia, Asturias, the Basque Country, Aragon, Valencia, and the Balearic Islands. In places along the center of the path, the sun will be completely covered for roughly 1 to 2 minutes, depending on the exact location. Now think about what that actually looks like. As the moon moves across the sun, daylight gradually fades, shadows change. The temperature can drop. And then, during totality, the bright face of the sun disappears, leaving the sun's outer atmosphere, the corona, visible around the dark silhouette of the moon. It's one of those rare moments when millions of people can look in the same direction and experience exactly the same cosmic event. Iceland is getting its own historic moment too. Totality began there in the late afternoon, with the western parts of the country offering the longest duration on land, up to about 2 minutes and 13 seconds. For Reykjavik, this is particularly remarkable because it is the first total solar eclipse visible from the city since 1433. Tens of thousands of visitors travel to Iceland hoping to witness it, although clouds remain one of the biggest wild cards for eclipse watchers. But there's another side to this spectacular event that has nothing to do with astronomy. Spain is experiencing extreme summer heat and an elevated wildfire threat at the same time millions of people are gathering for the eclipse. Authorities have prepared a major security operation, with tens of thousands of officers deployed and emergency teams positioned along the viewing route. Officials are also concerned about traffic, crowded rural areas, and the possibility of fires during a period when the country is already under significant environmental pressure. And this isn't just a giant public spectacle. Scientists are using the eclipse as a natural laboratory. NASA is sending a high-altitude research aircraft into the eclipse region to study the sun's corona, while balloon experiments in Iceland and Spain will examine how the sudden change in sunlight affects Earth's atmosphere. For researchers, those brief minutes of darkness can provide information that is difficult to collect under normal conditions. For anyone watching from the United States, there's an important detail. The contiguous U.S. is not getting totality from this eclipse, although parts of the country from Alaska to North Carolina can experience a partial eclipse. So if you want the full blackout effect, you'll have to wait for another opportunity. NASA says the next total solar eclipse visible in southern Spain and parts of North Africa and the Middle East arrives on August 2, 2027. And if you're wondering whether this is a once-in-a-lifetime event for Spain, there's an even bigger twist. Today's eclipse is the first of 3 major solar eclipses visible from Spain in consecutive years, followed by another total eclipse in 2027 and an annular eclipse in 2028. In other words, Spain isn't just getting one spectacular day. It's entering an extraordinary 3-year stretch for skywatchers. Of course, there is one rule that matters more than getting the perfect photo: protect your eyes. Outside the brief period of totality, looking directly at the sun can cause serious eye injury, so certified eclipse glasses or a proper solar viewer are essential. And honestly, with something this rare, the best moment may be the one when people stop looking at their phones, look up, and realize they're watching an event that hasn't happened over mainland Spain in more than a century. The moon will keep moving, daylight will return, and life will quickly go back to normal. But for those standing beneath the path of totality today, a few extraordinary minutes will become a memory they'll carry for the rest of their lives. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Prime Wire, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest news. Thanks for watching.